Breaking Detroit update. The board just shifted at cornerback. And I'm telling you up front, this isn't another whisper. This is the kind of late October movement that matters when you're chasing January football. I'm sitting here in that Lions state of mind. Blue collar, straight talk, all gas. And I'm seeing a window that fits our timeline, our identity, and our needs. Tonight I'm laying out the market pulse. The tape truth, the role in our coverage menu, the price that makes sense, and the ripple effects in the locker room if Brad Holmes decides to put a stamp on this secondary right now, days before the November 4 deadline at 4 p.m. ET. I'm keeping it tight, but I want you to feel the urgency that I feel. The path to a tougher, longer, nastier playoff defense just opened. And I'm ready to show you exactly why I think Detroit should step through it with confidence. Across the league, contenders are trimming rotation snaps, showing their hands with inactive lists, and sending up those little smoke signals that mean opportunity for front offices that don't sleep. You know our situation. We play fast, we play physical, we rally to the ball, and yet in the games that turn into third and gotta have it, you can never have too many outside corners who can run vertically without flinching and still drive downhill like a safety. We've got pieces I believe in and coaches who squeeze value out of every rep, but this is the stretch of the season when depth and matchup flexibility decide seeding and survival. I'm not here to sell you a fantasy. I'm here to connect dots that are already on the table. Across 2 NFL seasons, the player I'm focused on put together 7 interceptions and 15 pass breakups, ball production that isn't a blip, it's a profile. At 26, he's right in the sweet spot where traits harden into reliability. Long speed to carry posts and go balls, competitive hands at the catch point, and just enough sand in his pads to set an edge when runs bounce outside. On tape, he looks like a corner you can trust to win the red line, force receivers to the boundary, and still spin off contact to trigger end zone. That mix matters in Detroit because we aren't a one-note coverage team. We'll live in split safety shells on early downs, spin late, and then turn the screws with match principles that demand corners who can communicate, squeeze space, and arrive angry but under control. This is where the fit gets real. In our structure, an outside corner who can play top-down in zone on first down and then choke off verticals when we dial pressure on third down is gold. If you've watched our recent games, you've seen the bend-don't-break stretches that make you breathe through your teeth. You've also seen how one more contested ball, one more drive-killing pass defense changes the whole night. Add a corner who's comfortable playing with vision, who trusts his speed, and who doesn't panic when the receiver stacks him. And suddenly Aaron Glenn and this defensive staff can call the game one click more aggressive without exposing the back end. Now let's talk the market angle, because this is where the urgency lives. As we close in on the deadline, a few teams are quietly flipping their corner pecking orders, and when that happens, you look directly at who's losing snaps. The player I'm talking about was a healthy scratch on a primetime stage, with younger teammates stepping into the primary roles. That's the kind of signal you don't ignore if you believe you're one piece away in a specific room. League buzz pegs the move probability around the "it could happen if someone steps up with the right value" zone, not a fire sale. Not a pipe dream. That reality sets the price discussion. This isn't a first-rounder conversation, and it shouldn't be. What makes sense is a mid-round framework with performance escalators. Think a day 3 pick that can climb based on snap share, team postseason advancement, and ball production triggers. That structure respects Detroit's draft capital discipline, preserves future flexibility, and still shows the seller you're serious. On contract and age, the math lines up with our window. 26 years old? No need to rewire your cap to get through the door, and a chance to reset value for both sides in a system that highlights what he already does well. In the room, the message is clean. Iron sharpens iron. You bring in competition that's earned, not gifted. You sharpen practice reps. You set the standard that if you take the ball away and tackle, you play. That lifts everybody, from the veterans who lead to the young guys who are one confidence boost away from taking a leap. I'm not ignoring risk. I'm weighing it. Yes, the player has had inconsistent stretches. That's on the tape. The flip side is also on the tape. The ball skills show up in big moments, and the long speed erases a lot of sins when the pocket holds and routes get to their second move. In Detroit's environment, where we coach details and swarm, you can protect the lows and amplify the highs. Special teams value? Bonus. You win the hidden yards in January by stacking players who aren't allergic to contact, who understand leverage on return phases, who tilt field position in ways that the broadcast barely mentions, but every coordinator notices on Monday. Now, let me bring the spotlight to the name, because this is the climax you've been waiting for, and it matters to say it with the reality and respect it deserves. The corner is Taylor-Britt of the Cincinnati Bengals, a talented, 26-year-old outside corner with legit vertical speed, a recent healthy scratch on a big stage, and 2 years of ball production that isn't theory, it's proof. Cincinnati has seen the rise of DJ Turner and Dax Hill in the corner rotation, which complicates CTB's immediate path there, and that is exactly why I believe Detroit should be in the room when calls get made. The broader rumor mill has kicked around other fits, Indy, Washington, Philly, so you're not bidding in a vacuum, but the Detroit case is compelling because of timeline, identity, and usage. I see a clean roll. Outside corner who plays boundary on early downs and zone match, handles vertical carry responsibilities without a safety over the top when we pressure, and brings enough competitive toughness to survive those mid-quarter body blow drives where bad tackling turns 5 yards into 15. Forget the empty buzzwords. Look at how he plays through the hands at the catch point, how he stacks and peaks, and how he recovers when the receiver sells the double move. That's Sunday night stuff, not draft season promises. From a game plan standpoint, adding CTB means you can tilt help toward the true WR1 without leaving the opposite sideline unattended. It means you can call the game with fewer band-aids and more conviction, disguise too high, rotate late, heat the quarterback, and trust your corners to finish. It also forces offenses to hold the ball half a beat longer, which is where our rush plan eats. More simulated pressure looks, more green dog triggers when the back stays in, more money downs where the pocket gets loud and the throw has to be perfect. Give me that in January outdoors, in a game with breath you can see, and I'll ride with this defense all night. Value is still the hinge. If the ask balloons into something silly, you walk away. If it stays in that sane mid-round plus escalators range, you lean in because it's the cleanest way to raise your floor and ceiling at the same time. Right now, with no scheme surgery required. I'm optimistic because the fit is logical, the age aligns, and the tape says the strengths match our asks. That's not wish-casting. That's team-building discipline. Before I land the plane, I want your read because this is a community that gets it. Does Taylor-Britt on the outside make you more confident on third down and in the fourth quarter when offenses start calling their best stuff? And if the price is a conditional mid-rounder that can climb, are you in or out? Drop it below with the why, because the why matters here as much as the what. My final take is straight. Detroit should be in this conversation. The board shifted, the window opened, and this is a move that makes football sense, cap sense, and locker room sense for a team that's built to play into February. I'm fired up because it's not hype. It's alignment, traits, role, timing. If Brad Holmes pushes this one over the line, you'll feel it the first time we spin late, heat the quarterback, and watch a vertical shot die on the sideline because our corner won the red line and finished through the hands. That's playoff defense. That's Detroit football. If you're rolling with this vision, lock in with me, subscribe, hit that like, turn on notifications, because I'll keep you ahead of the curve with fast updates and deep dives that respect your time and your intelligence. And now, tell me in the comments, Taylor-Britt to Detroit for a sensible, incentive-laced pick. Make the call or hold the line.